know it's like most of us we are muted, so inshallah, I think everybody has. All right. I assume we have all responded, and inshallah we can get started. As the topic goes, nurturing children with Iman according to their ages. Before I begin with the topic, I would like to explain something for myself and for everybody. Tarbiyah, which is the nurturing of children, is it needs long birth. It is a process. It is a staginal thing. It is a skill that we need to learn. Therefore, it's not like kun fayakun, be and it become. It's also not like khuduhu faghulluh, seize him and shackle him so he can be thrown on the hellfire. No. So it is something that every murabbi or murabbiyah needs to learn and also have patience. The reason why I brought all this, the phrases I mentioned, the ayah khuduhu faghulluh and kun fayakun, is for you to know that it is a process and patience is highly needed, and one needs to know its goes stages by stages, and inshallah the impact will be seen. We are not saying we want to nurture children who are 100% perfect, because we ourselves are not perfect. We are just striving to attain excellence, or we are going to have kids who are infallible, walking on the planet. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create us to be like that. We are trying our best to learn skills that will make us nurture children who will be servant of Allah Azza wa Jal, who will serve Allah by knowing that they are human beings, they fall short. Prophet Muhammad said that كل بني آدم خطاء وخير الخطائين التوابون. For every son of Adam is a sinner, and the best sinner is the one who seeks forgiveness or who repents. It's not the one who doesn't sin. So the human being who doesn't sin is not there. Allah has them created us to fall short to make, and then we fall and rise and keep on going. That's one thing. Secondly, it's highly essential we all wake up and know that there are many challenges on this planet, and then we need to nurture our children Islamically so they can combat the challenges, inshallah. So let's get started. I would like to mention, as we say, according to the ages here means, of course, we can mention each and every single thing, but there are basic things or primary things that we all need to know. And I'm going to give the range of ages like 2, inshallah, 4, 6, 8, 10. I may be able to absorb this, and if not, then we need to be postponed, inshallah. So whenever I mention age 2, then it is age 0 to 2 or till 3, inshallah. So that's one thing. Another thing I will mention is some characteristics that will be seen within the children, as they will exhibit, or a natural behavior, and how can the natural behavior be nurtured or be modified or be corrected. Certain things that are not correct, you correct them. And then how we correct them, inshallah, it will be by using the Quran and Sunnah. Not everything, but there will be salient things, inshallah, I'll be mentioning. And after that, if anybody has anything to share with us, please, you have to share with us. Don't keep it for yourself, because we are all learning. Barakallahu feekum. All right. Inshallah, at the age of 2, there are generally characteristics that is shown. We all know about it, or about them, is the strong attachment of the children. A tanker of 2 or before two always want to attach to the mother, and if there is no mother, you see them strongly attaching to any other thing or any other person who show them care and love. Which is why we see that whenever the mother is absent, you see they become so disturbed. It affects them even psychologically, and their mood changes. It's very natural because of the age. The age itself needs attachment. That is the age of making bond. If this bond is not really correctly created or manufactured, then there will be a negative impact or consequences on the tarbiyah, inshallah. And so, I'm saying inshallah, it's not something that we're really looking for. It is unpleasant to have a child detached from the mother. So this is one thing. It's very natural. So whenever you drop in your baby to any nursery or creche and crying is going on, it's very normal. Because that is the age itself is for attachment. So this is where who they should get to attach, who should they be attached. It's where we have to be very careful to know who is having the accessibility of our child, who is giving them the right guidance and the right upbringing. It's highly essential. Another thing that will be observed is possessive attitude. As the educationalists will say, they always want to say, this is mine, and therefore they always want to show to the parent that, or anybody we sit with, this particular thing is for me, and therefore it should be attributed to me, and it will be in my protection, or it will be for me. It's not a bad thing. It's very good to give them privacy of that, and then ownership of that particular thing. Whatever it is at home, maybe this bed is for Ahmed, and maybe the toys is for him, and whatever is inside, or this particular thing is for Ahmed, this box is for Ahmed. So they also feel as a member of the unit of the family, or a member of a family who has a position in the family. This is very important. If they are exhibiting this behavior, it's not a bad thing. Excuse me. It's a good thing, but we should direct them on how they should do it. They should say it, or they should have this possession in. Likewise, you see them, they're having trouble here and there for whenever that particular thing is tempered. So quickly, here it's highly essential that we introduce Allah to them and make them know that they are the servant of Allah, and they themselves, they are for Allah Azza wa Jal. So that they will know whether they have belonging or whatever they belonging to them, everything together with them is for Allah Azza wa Jal. So they will have this understanding of Allah Azza wa Jal being the ownership of they themselves. So you talk to them also about Allah, some of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as parent. The little that you know, or you make little research, or you read about, you give them. And not parents only, as anybody who is around the kids, because we have teachers also, they are also murabbin. We have creche, caretakers, nannies, they are all murabbin. And tarbiyah, to my understanding, is a default career for every woman. It's by default, every woman should know in her mind that, or learn some skills as she has this default occupation. So whoever comes around her, whether the kids are her biological children or they are other people's children, she should treat them, give them the right of the tarbiyah upon her correctly. So therefore, whoever comes around you, likewise you handle the child in this way. Whatever the chance you get, you show the child about Allah Azza wa Jal. You talk about Allah being compassionate, yani Ar-Rahman, entirely merciful, especially merciful Ar-Rahim. And you talk about Allah's kindness to we, the creatures and everything. You talk about Allah being the Razaq, the all provider. we talk about these, these attributes will make them aware of Allah and also know that Allah is possessing these attributes for us. And they should also have fresh mind about Allah and things positive about Allah. Please don't go ahead and say Allah is Jabbar, is Mutakabbir, Al Mata'ali, Al Mudil. Like Allah Azza wa Jalla is all compeller. He has nar, he will throw you in the hellfire. Like some parents, what they do is, hey, if you touch this one, Allah will be angry at you and put you in the hellfire. Or Allah sees you, this is dangerous at this age. It's dangerous because at kids they will start having something about Allah because their brain is not mature enough to process that. So yes, Allah is a Jabbar without a doubt, but this is not the compeller. It's not the time you should introduce the Jabbar of Allah. Introduce Allah is love and al-Wadud, and He's Ar-Rahman. He's providing us anything that you see. Oh, look at how the weather is so hot in the morning, mashallah, after a few hours. So easily, alhamdulillah. So then the child will say, really, Mama? Is that how Allah will give you this? Yes. How do you give the mercy of Allah for me? My efforts wouldn't have been able to grant me all this. This is Allah again making. He space it out for me. He did this. Whatever you discuss with them, even food, say, alhamdulillah, see how we are able to get this. Then they will know that, okay, He is the one provider. We are taking them step by step. We're not wasting much time on this, to get to the kids of this age, the graciousness of Allah. We should also teach them dhikr, and you yourself too, you have to be reciting dhikr. The children should actually see you making moments to supplicate or to remember Allah after the prayers, this adhkar ba'da salat, the dhikr after the prayers. So the child should see you making moments and make subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, and that also be said louder sometimes, so that you see they also be imitating, trying to see something. So here, what are you doing? You have right from the beginning establishing something or making foundation of they connecting themselves to Allah. Recitation of Quran as well. The children should start learning the Quran, especially Surah Al-Fatiha. If you are not able to be doing that, then you should be reciting. The children should see you actually holding the Mus'haf and reciting. There is a study that was taken some years back. I don't recollect the years, about children who likes to flip pages or read. It's because they see their parents always reading. So you see whatever, when they are there, they always pull book, start flipping the pages and the rest. So likewise, if the child see you always holding the Mus'haf, reciting it, even as soon as they see Mus'haf, they'll start mumbling, moving their tongue. Like there is a little baby here, anytime they bring him to madrasa, he starts mumbling and moving the tongue. What is he doing? Trying to recite. And that is 1.5-year-old baby. You see, because he see the parent and environment he is in, everybody's continuously or often or frequently reciting Quran. So this is what we teach the children at this age, and also teach them stories of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by showing them how Prophet Muhammad loved kids, loved babies. Sometimes if you see they are really responding, if not, then maybe it can be delayed. We hammer more on the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Wahhab and Fattah, all these attributes. Then you teach the child also, one more thing is to teach the child about sorry words. Like when they commit any mistake or they do error, you teach them to say sorry. They shouldn't just feel angry or accept that they are guilty or they are wrong just by being silent. They need to learn sorry words because we want to open the concept of istighfar to them. So therefore they have to admit their mistake and they should openly mention, okay, I am sorry. Or if it is with their brother, oh, I'm very sorry. How can I make you feel better? How do I make you feel okay? Or Mama, I'm not happy with you because you did this, you did that. I didn't expect you to do that. Then you say, oh, okay. Then you have to show sorry. I'm sorry, Mama. How can I help you to be better? Something. You teach them these languages and let them know that this is making them stronger. It doesn't belittle them or humiliate them, but it is rather making them better. And when they do that, say, MashaAllah, or wow, or bravo, I don't know the wow words to be using to make them feel, okay, you did it, MashaAllah, that's very good. If you have some stars, you give them, or anything that you feel they love, you increase the time of them playing with it, or anything that you use to comfort them with, you increase that for them, achieving whatever you're nurturing them with. All right, I think to this moment it will be enough for Tychus from 0 to 3, inshallah. So now let's look at 4 to 5, inshallah. At this age, alhamdulillah, they are big. So the brain is also big. They are getting sense of the environment and sense of things and comprehending bit by bit according to their level. So this stage is, we call it marhalat al-iktishaf. It's the stage of discovery. This stage, they become more curious as educationalists, and it's been something very practical. They ask numerous questions. It's not a bad thing. It is a normal behavior that is expected them to do. And whenever we say, or it is said that this is what the child has to be doing or is doing or expected to do, it varies from a child to another. So in the scale of 10, some child will be exhibiting it 9, some will be 8, some will be lesser than that, according to every child with his behavior. So usually whatever you will see, whether it's the highest or is the lowest or whatever you see, it is the behavior and it is positive, it's natural behavior. So here, please, you should take your time, whatever the question they will ask, you explain it and according to their age correctly. Don't lie to them. Don't deceive them. Don't lie to them and don't deceive them. Don't tell them something which is not the fact, because you will contradict yourself and it will be a big problem next level. Because as we mentioned, stages, and it is you are building it. It is a building and you are building it going. So therefore, whatever they inquire or try to, Mama, what is this? For example, you brought something and you see that they are asking so much questions. Maybe you don't want them to know exactly what is it. Yeah, so sorry. So you explain to them in a way that you're not lying, but then you're not also maybe letting them know exactly what is the thing. Why? So you don't contradict it, so you don't cause problem later on. Inshallah. So here, this is the characteristics that it doesn't mean they are stubborn or you are too much curious. It's not a bad thing. It is their natural behavior. That's one. Secondly, then first, inshallah, they also get sometimes annoying dreams. Because when they are sleeping and you see them moving too much and the rest, it is maybe the dream that cause irritation. And here, that's why it's highly essential for us to make dua upon them. Or by this time, because I'll come to that, they might have learned dua for sleeping. I'll come to the Islamic tarbiyah here. But if you haven't introduced it and you see this thing, it's not a bad thing. You can also make dua upon them. You come closer to them and recite Ayat al-Kursi while the breath is pouring on their face. Then it keeps on until you are done. Then you make the dua of Prophet ﷺ. That dua is also there. If you go online, inshallah, you see it. Then you make it upon them. There was something I left in the typhus age. Is when I say introduction of Quran, that's Fatiha and supplications, like some of the du'as. That's the dua for sleeping. So until this is supposed to be known to them before even they get to age 4 and 5, inshallah. Now, Islamic tarbiyah, to this age also, the educationalist says that they will be showing hyper, they will be acting very hyper. Again, if they are hyper, you should manage it. It's not a bad thing. A child being hyper means he moves a lot, he's very energetic. It's not a bad thing, but you will have Islamic therapy to combat this one. And subhanAllah, I would like to share this experience with everybody here. I remember very well when I started my teaching in the institution, and we had a very hyper student, or learner, because it was KG or grade 1, or I don't remember, but I remember very well it was the basic. And this particular child, I have been thinking, and that time the internet wasn't very common to go and search and do something. So I was thinking, what should I do? Because the mother has kept on complaining. While you're teaching, the child is busy walking on the table. His son elsewhere under the desk doing something, although it's not a very slow learner. Whilst he was doing this, he's capturing, memorizing whatever the classes, teaching is going on. However, he will be disturbing others. So wallahi, I was disturbed, but trying to make research, but I wasn't getting information until one day I was following a tafsir on one of these Arabic channels, and the sheikh was making tafsir of Surah Maryam, which I will come to this for the next age, but I want to share this experience. When he was talking about Surah Maryam, he mentioned at the time she conceived, alayha salam, and she was in her labor, and Allah Azza wa Jal ordered her to shake a palm tree so that some of the fresh dates will fall down and she will eat. In his tafsir of فَكُلِي وَاشْرَبِي وَقَرِّي عَيْنًا, and so eat and then feel tranquil, and have that coolness of your eye and feel better. And he was talking about why Allah Azza wa Jal make the palm tree to be the best one for her to eat. Although few years or few months before, she was in the masjid and he was miraculously providing her fresh fruits, which is even not common in their time. But then she was getting it miraculously in the masjid, her synagogue, in Ihram. This is just to show something important in the dates and some functional dates for us. And date has got some nutritional elements that brings that calms nerves. Wallahi, I jumped. And that's so when she eats, the worry she has and everything, she'll calm down. So he's encouraging. Now, Allahu Alam, as he mentioned, that it's good to be giving your children dates to be eating, especially when the kids are hyper. So guess what? I disseminated the same information to the mother. And we started using that date. And alhamdulillah, yes, it wasn't 100% of everything, but at least 0.9% we saw difference in his behavior. So this is something that we can also be learning, and then we give kids who are highly hyper. A child of this age is expected to be hyper, but as we mentioned, Some of them, the hyper will vary from, if in the scale of 10, some will be 10 hyper, and that's very high. Some will be 5, some will be 2. So according to the density or intensity of the hyperness, then you provide them with this. So here, another thing is, let's just move on to another element. You will see that kids like touching things. They always want to touch. Everything that they do, they want to touch it, feel it. It is very normal, which is why if you're teaching them, it's, most of the things they learn should be something that they see with their eyes and touch. So, counting, they need to have something that will help them to count. So doing things, theoretical is not very good for them at this age because of the characteristics of the age. And if it is about painting, coloring, they will be doing, they want to see the element and they want to touch it. So here, there's one more thing. Okay, I want to escape it, but inshallah, there is one thing is also they like to play to be representing mother, father, I am soldier, this. So it is also good if as a lecturer you see it, you model it. You try to take the positive aspect of it and model it. Because if they are playing alone and they are exhibiting father or mother, sometimes even a daughter would like to say she's the father. And in that case, if you're a parent, you try to do this correction. Don't say she's a very bad girl or that one is a very bad boy. It's not they being stubborn or not your bad, but it is the age characteristics that is vision. So here quickly you have to introduce Tarbiyah Imaniya. Here is you have to introduce Salat to them and make emphasis. It's not relaxation. You should see to it that you teach them proper performing of wudu, and that they also perform they perform the Salat. Yes, it's not obligatory upon them yet, but this is the best stage to make sure that you establish this, because age 7 at our time now is different from age 7 of the Prophet of time now, because we are now in the 21st century, in the world of digital, the world where everything is corrupt and so many things is going on. So you bring that 7 inshallah to age 4 and then teach them Salat, slowly but sure, inshallah, and then teach them qisar surah, short surahs that they will be reciting, and with seriousness, because this is the age where the brain is developing and it can absorb a lot of things, and when they memorize something at this age, they don't easily forget it. So right from this age is the age of memorization. If you really want your child to be Hafiz, memorizer of Quran, this is the best time to start. When they were the striking age, yes, we are hearing Quran recitation from you. You are also teaching them, but they don't really sit down and listen. They don't really pay attention. The only attention you get from them is 10 minutes maximum, maybe 15 minutes. The rest is playing, but then the brain is catching. However, once they reach this 4 to 5, there is going to be a proper schedule, timetable, that they have to sit to be memorizing, inshallah. And at this age, inshallah, by the time they get to age 5, maybe end of age 5, some of them could even memorize Juzul Amma, when we attach any consistency and then we attach prayers with it. Here you pick up some stories. When you with the children, you narrate the story of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you're unable to teach them at that striker age, at this age is very good, because this age they would like to know maybe more and more, and the brain is big. So telling them about Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, loving kids, smiling when he sees kids, patting babies or kids' shoulder, and then guiding them and loving to sit with children, then you are getting them connected to Prophet Muhammad and loving Prophet, because every baby, every child will love to know that somebody loved them. So you also ask them a question: Will you like it when someone play with you? They will say, yes, oh, if Prophet Sallallahu seems to be around, you see how he would have been praying with you, he will be with you. Something like that for them to feel, okay, then Prophet Sallallahu care for babies as well. He cherished them. Yes. Then, as we mentioned with the surah, there is something I want us to learn, or I remind you with it, is the qisar surah they are memorizing, the short surah they are memorizing. Pick up any surah. But I know some madrasas practice that, others don't do. And if you have a child who is purely in the secular education, and you are making your own efforts, please, you can inculcate this into the Islamic teachings as you're giving them tarbiyah. Suppose you have the short surahs, like Surah Al-Masad. If you reach the surah, try to narrate some story of the surah, give them the theme, the background, the revelation. If you even don't know, please go Google, search, read, and know it. Then you give them the theme of the surah, not to make tafsir to them, no. Why are you doing this? Because you want them to memorize the surah well, remember a lot of things about the surah. So maybe Masad is basically in the context of Abu Lahab. So you took to the baby and the child about Abu Lahab, who is Abu Lahab, and how evil he was. Then that was in Makkah, it revealed. Maybe get them sketch pad, painting, colors, and the rest. Then the time you finish with them, for whatever you do, their free time, then you get the sketch of Makkah with the desert and the rest, and let them paint inside. That's Makkah. And maybe a house of Abu Lahab somewhere in the corner. And you can draw Abu Lahab, but not with the face. You make some sketch of a figure, no face. They color Abu Lahab, very horrible, because already it's in the hellfire. Then like that. Then they will know, okay, because at this age, in the attribute of Allah, which I will come, you will introduce that to them, inshallah. So this is just an additional thing I think we need to know. Whenever we giving them the surah, we try to add the theme of the surah and something about the surah. And then if possible, we download some cartoons for them to watch. So for example, Surah Al-Fil is also very important, which is talking about the coming of the Abraha and the elephant with the intention to destroy Kaaba. So you tell them this short or brief narration of that, and then they will draw elephants, and then the Abraha and the big cathedral of Abraha with the intention that the people should rather worship in the cathedral or in the big temple or church. And then the elephants, then the Makkah or the Meccan people, something. You see, so they will get connected. Oh, really? That's what happened? Yes. And see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala secure his house. Because that is the foundation, that's the first building Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constructed is Kaaba. And then now we get some human beings want to destroy. Do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will stay and be watching? I mean, that's not possible. So this will make them never forget Surah Al-Fil with whatever is inside, inshallah. Now the attribute of Allah Azza wa Jal is, which is very important at this age, is As-Sami' Al-Basir, and all hearing, all knowing, Al-Ahad, As-Samad, that's Al-Wahid, the sublime, the seeing. So that's why are you introducing this to them? You're establishing something for them to know that wherever they are, Allah Azza wa Jal see them. Allah Azza wa Jal hear them, and He knows what they're doing. You know? So these attributes are very, very important at this age, inshallah. Without going much, I will add maybe Al-Hafiz, the protector, the guide. So Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who guides us, who protects us. Yes, we have to do our human efforts. However, we should have the trust and believe that, solid belief that protection is from Allah Azza wa Jal. At this age, you can talk that to them. Even if you're going to use a month to finish talking about a particular attribute, slowly, it's not harm, because all things about tarbiyah is not a rush. It's not kun for yakun, neither is khudu for wudu. Al-Muqit, the nourisher. It's Allah Azza wa Jal who gives us the nourishment. He does this. Yes, we are sick, we go to the hospital, but who would make the particular medication we are taking to heal our wound or heal our sickness is Allah. So Allah will give you the health, don't worry. As long as you say you have the fever or whatever, don't worry, happens. Don't worry, Habibti, Allah Azza wa Jal will grant you the shifa. Okay, now we are done with this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at this age. Some stories, Islamic stories to be learned. The story of Ibrahim alayhi salam is very, very important, and that is Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded them to erect the construction of Kaaba, to raise it. You see how Ismail was so obedient to his father, and then he helped his father, blah, blah, blah. If it is a girl, you tell her how Sarah alayhi salam, as well as Ismail, how they started, and how Sarah was so humble. See how so kind she was, how even though she struggled, this, but see at the end what happened. The practice of Sarah had been, Hajar. The practice of Hajar had been something which is now fundamental in our fundamental rituals. That is the Hajj and the Umrah. Because walking in between the Mount Safa and Marwa is basically the practice of Hajar alayhi salam. So the girls will take this aspect of the story, and inshallah the boys will be the way Ismail alayhi salam helped Ibrahim alayhi salam to construct the Kaaba, and at the end they said, Rabbana taqabbal minna, so beautiful. With all the efforts they made, the huge exertion of the effort they made, at the end they said, Rabbana arina manasikana, arina manasikana, teach us our rituals. وَتَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا, accept from us. So it is the effort you make, and then you have the hope that Allah subhanahu. So all this is submission. You try to simplify it and then narrate it to them in a way that will sink, inshallah. Yes, Quran recitation is continuing. Supplication or the dua is, you teach them the supplications. In Islam, of course, I know as we all practice, every movement has got specific dua to say. And right from sleeping, waking up, getting to the washroom, coming out from the washroom, eating, drinking, wearing clothes, wearing new clothes, getting out from the house, coming back home. At this stage, they should be memorizing them. They should be memorizing them in order to be a dhikr for them, so that the tongue will be busy in dhikr. There is nothing called, it's too much to take the dua, because the only thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright, let's continue. Barakallah fiki. So you can see that it's only dhikr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He ordered us to say it continuously or abundantly. Dhikran kathiran. And dhakirin Allah kathiran, those who remember Allah profoundly. So when it comes to dhikr and supplication, and dhikr consists of the recitation of the Quran, as well as this adiyah, the azkar sabah al-masa, the morning supplications, as well as the evening supplications, and then the dhikr of the movement, as we mentioned, generally going out, coming back home, going to bed, wearing new clothes, citation of the moon, and getting to the washroom, coming out from the washroom, eating, drinking, all these, we let them know it, and then they practice, inshallah. I think with this, inshallah, we will end this age. I don't know if there is time for me to continue with the next age 6 and 7, or maybe we postpone the age 6 and 7 so we collect questions.
Yeah, Ustaza, kindly go ahead.
Okay. All right, inshallah. So now then let's move on to the next stage, inshallah, and that is stage 6 and 7. MashaAllah, now the kids are big. We just left them while they were 4 and 5, and now they are big, and they are in the same the age of distinguishing. Oh yeah, the age where they can know this is black, actually this is red, and this is wrong. All right, and this is the age they get more influence with friends. This is the age they want to imitate my friend's house. They want to go there. So this is where you have to create a boundary. Who should be visited? Who should they spend time with? And who are your kids' friends? We choose the friends for them. But we don't say, hey, I don't want you to be with this one. We create the friends to them by creating a means to engage with the ones we want them to be with. Because if you tell certain, I don't want to be with this one, they wouldn't know what's the consequences of such friends. But you have to create the friends in such a way that they will feel, it will be conducive for them to be with those friends in your own intelligent way. You select or you choose friends who should they spend time with any of their leisure time. This is the age. The next thing in the conventional tarbiyah, we can see that it's the age of they love achievements. They want to say, in jazz, they want to say they have done something, they have achieved something. So you see, they want to take credit for their effort. It's not bad. They're choosing friends, making network of friends, and like to go to friend houses. It's not bad. When it becomes bad is when you are not able to identify who should be their friend, and that is the bad. And that is your shortcomings. However, whatever they're doing, as I say, it's not an evil thing. It is their exhibition of their natural behavior. Now, they love and achieve. Mama, I did this. They want to be winners. They want to be first in everything. In fact, if you have a child who doesn't exhibit this behavior, please, you should inculcate in them. You should let them have that feeling of, no, I need to achieve. I forgot even to mention in the age of 4 and 5, when they are curious, if you see your child is not curious, is so I don't care, please try to do something. For example, you bring something new at home. Something you came and just put in the middle of the room or in the kitchen, whether it's a device or anything, and the child came, never ask you, please call the child and say, what is this? So that the child will speak up and say, yeah, it is this. Or if the child say, I don't know, say, you should know. Let's open it. Should we open it? Or you left it and see, what do you think it works? And how does it function? Let them learn to be curious and try to understand. So they'll be aware of their environment and have that positive behavior of the natural behavior, because it's very, very, very important to them. So likewise at this age of tamiz, whenever they don't see them trying to make injaz, attain any achievement and be boastful of their efforts, be with them. So teach them. Maybe you're taking some route of tarbiyah, which is making them not to exhibit this or suppressing that behavior. So you did this, oh mashallah, that you did this, or bravo, whatever, I don't know which one you do, but mashallah will be the best, because anything positive we learn in Islam that you have to say mashallah. You did this, okay, and then you didn't make me know you did this. Oh, then I'm going to give you this goodie or something, a surprise or something very little. It doesn't need to be big. So they will learn to have that. They will be, they take credit, as I said. They want to solve problems. Yes, some children want to take challenge, but the challenge again, it varies from skill to another. Some cases one will be very hyper, others will be low, depending on the child innately built behavior. So they love challenges. I mean, they will love competition. It's not a bad thing. Like without competition or without having that yearning to compete or yearning to any achievements, no country will develop. All of us will be down. Is that we have to make tanafus. We compete for khair. We compete for good things. Not we compete for accumulation of sin or evil. So that's competitive attitude should be there for them. So now what are the iman, tarbiyatul imaniyya that we will be giving to the children, inshallah? There are multiple values, principles of Islam, which subhanAllah I can't mention all. So we will just mention some of the basic, inshallah. Memorization of Quran is the key thing, it's ongoing. Memorization of Quran, actually what it does, it makes the child strong, emotionally strong, and spiritually strong, mentally, and strong physically. Because if the child knows that I am learning the book of all king, Allah, the king of the universe, the king of all king, not for them to be boastful to people, hey, wait a minute, I am the boss, respect me. No, not that. But they have the confidence that this is the book that they need to preserve in the heart and the action. So the memorization of Quran should keep on going. The dua, supplications, all the forms of du'as. I don't know till which level. Maybe you have got to the level of where they know the dua of movement. Now they have to know dua of maybe ruqyah. Maybe you teach them this particular ayah. When you have headache, you place your hand, then you make, or this particular dua. When you have this, you make dua for this, dua for evil sense or fear. Fear something which is frightening. And then it is a moment of learning hadith. In fact, I forgot to mention hadith. When they are at the age of 5, you should introduce short hadith to them. The time you're teaching them about the Prophet, then you'll be teaching them short hadith. So this age also, you make the emphasis. And whoever who cheats is not among us. Al-Muslim akhul Muslim. A Muslim is a brother or a sister to another Muslim. This moral hadith helps to solidify the love of Prophet Muhammad in the heart. Okay, the Prophet is commanding us to do this. Yes. And also instilling or inculcating good manners in their behavior, in their character. Helping to shape their behavior. Tell them much about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You tell them other stories. If they are boys, story of Zakaria and how patient he is, and how wonderful stage. Because I love the stage where he took the guardianship of Maryam alayhi salam. All right. However, when he used to be sending food to her, and when he was giving her food, one day he came and saw she had varieties, provisions from Allah Azza wa Jal. And when he asked her, Anna laki hada, where from this? قالت هو من عند الله. This is from Allah. This is very beautiful to teach both genders. And then immediately over this, and she added, إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. See, our attribute of rizq came here. Allah Azza wa Jal provided to whomever he was without any account. Then the children would like to know, really, that's amazing. Fine. Immediately over there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, هُنَالِكَ دَعَى زَكَرِيَّا رَبَّهُ. Instantly or immediately, Zakaria alayhi salam supplicates. He called upon his Lord. دَعَى زَكَرِيَّا رَبَّهُ. قَالَ رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِن لَدُنْكَ ذُرِّيَّةً طَيِّبَةً. So this is teaching us that, it's not everything that you want in the life, you just get it. But at this age, it's very important. They know. So Zakaria alayhi salam, although he's prophet, but see how even he didn't have children, didn't have any child, and then when he saw the wonder, miraculous food for Maryam, he prayed, and Allah Azza wa Jalla even responded to him. The angels called that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to grant him a child, and the child name is Yahya. So this is a very beautiful story. We can tell the case, even if you're not getting into the verses, the detail of the ayat, just briefly narrate the story to them in book, inshallah. You can tell the girls the story of Khadija bint Khuwaylid, how firmly and strong she is, with how she defended the religion of Islam and stood side by side with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the early age. Or you select the point where she was a businesswoman, and then she was a very successful businesswoman, and how intelligent she is to select employees. And one of the employees she chose is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. MashaAllah. I see how she employed for Prophet something, full stop, if you want. You tell them the story of Imam Abu Hanifa, and I find that one is very beautiful. Something about other scholars like Imam Ibn Qayyim, Taymiyyah. If you want, you go download the videos they watch, or you tell them verbally, or you get the book, you read with them. Because at this age also, it is the age of establishing reading to them, inshallah. Now, the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without we wasting much time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being Ar-Raqib. In this story, when it is a girl, you can also tell her the story of Bilqis. Bilqis, yes, she's not a Sahabiya, she's not a prophet. However, her position of Tawheed, how swiftly, regardless of her majesty, her power, she used her intelligence to accept Allah Azza wa Jalla, and this is what is beautiful about her. And so it is important children of this age learn the story of Bilqis in order to inculcate that intelligence in them, and how they have to decide something to do, even if they see that it appears to be bad thing, or people see it as bad thing. Because one key thing about Bilqis' story is when her people, her cabinet, when she consulted them about the letter she received from Sulaiman alayhi salam, and she consulted the cabinet that this is what I'm receiving, it looks like some being is threatening my throne. They immediately told her, we are strong guys, let's just combat him. What did she do? She didn't just say, yeah, go ahead. She took time and had a deeper thought. And then she gave them as إِنَّ الْمُلُوكَ إِذَا دَخَلُوا قَرْيَةً أَفْسَدُوهَا وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. Indeed, the kings, when they enter in a city, they destroy the city, and they will make the honorable people debased. This doesn't mean that Sulaiman is having these qualities of but she's looking, she examined the situation and realized that nobody can have that jur'ah, the confidence to face her like this if the person is not really having grand information or is standing on something truth. So eventually she has to use her intelligence to give him gifts to see whether he's looking for worldly things. And this is where we teach our kids this type of qualities, inshallah, for them to have. So we were actually in the attribute of Allah Azza wa Jal, the attribute of Ar-Raqib, and very quickly I said Ar-Raqib means overseer or observer who sees whatever you're doing, so that they will learn that whatever the action they're doing, whether it's publicly or secretly, Allah Azza wa Jal is observing them. It doesn't have it doesn't have difference. It's not different to Allah, whether the thing is in secret. Everything is public to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Everything is they are under the gaze of Allah. This is what I would say Raqib is. And then Al-Alim, all-knowing. They should learn that Allah is all-knowing. He knows what will happen. He knows the present, He knows the past, He knows the future, and He knows even what will happen, when it will happen, how the outcome will be, and if it didn't even happen at all, how is it going to be. The kids should have this educated knowledge about Allah being all-knower. Why? To solidify this knowledge that is so vast that no creature can have some of it or a bit of it. It's highly important for them to know these attributes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to teach them, and may also they have the tawfiq to absorb. All this brings Islamic principle, love and connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think inshallah we will end here, because the 8 and 9 and getting to 10, which I plan to reach 10, but we will hold on to this because it's so much information, and we need everything here, because this is where we are inching forward teenagehood. So inshallah, maybe that will be taken next meeting, بإذن ta'ala. Till here I say سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mashallah, tabarakallah, jazakillah khair for taking time off your busy schedule to conduct a very detailed research to make this presentation for us all. May Allah reward your efforts greatly and grant us also the ability to put it into practice and help us all and our children grow in purity and in beauty, and grant us all long life and prosperity in Islam. Amin Ya Rab. So at this juncture, I would like to open the platform so that if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions, inshallah. So we apologize for what happened. Unfortunately for us too, we're streaming live on Facebook, so that will mean that at the end of this session, we have to go and edit and remove that aspect of it. Okay, so we should be expecting another one at this point. I don't know who has taken over this too. Let me see. Allah protect us. Okay, so please, are we safe? I don't know who is screen sharing and has pinned the screen. I can see Sulafa Al Hassan. Please, are you? May Allah help us. Please, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and speak, inshallah. Yeah, set us off. Kindly unmute yourself. Yeah, kindly unmute yourself and speak if you have a question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Our Sheikh, may Allah bless her and bless everybody who has been online to join this early. I don't think we have to stress this. It's the unfortunate side of social media now.
Yeah.
And as we are teaching and sharing ideas about impacting Iman on our children, we hope, inshallah, our future generation will be protected from such. I think when our Sheikha was talking, she made emphasis on trying to impact a lot of memorization on our children. And you see, when you go to our madrasa, you find out people have different methodology of teaching. In the Quran section, they have the how do you call it, doing it in the memorization format, or what they call the mujawada. So you see that those who do the mujawada, some go through with their reading the Quran, knowing the text. Now that she is admonishing us that we should do most of the memorization, what does she think about the mujawada? It doesn't mean it is not the best approach in the childhood stage.
نعم الحمد لله والصلاة
I'm Abdullah. My name is Abdullah.
Yes, my brother, thank you very much for your question. Quran in its entirety is blessing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. So he said blessing. So maybe the mujawwada can be a first step, which is very, very important. I'm not saying mujawwada is something, actually it's highly essential that the child or every Muslim can recite Quran from cover to cover while looking. They get the rewards, they get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they get the hasanat, and they get the blessings, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarak. Nakira without even any definite article, which is immense blessings. However, you see, in every aspect of deen or worship, we strive to go for excellence. The hifz, it's higher stage, and let's begin to do the Quran and recite. Isn't that so? Because let's see the benefits. I'm just going to mention something later without taking much time from you. Although we learned the hadith of Prophet he said, الماهر بالقرآن مع السفرة كرام بررة والذي يتتعتع وهو عليه الشاق له أجران. The one who is excellent in the recitation of Quran is always in the company of the leading angels. That is the reward. So now the mujawwada will prepare the person to be perfect in the recitation. And inshallah, the next step that we have to excel is to memorize. And whoever is the memorizer of Quran is of high stage, because we learn in the hadith of Prophet, Inshallah, on the judgment day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Iqra wartaqi. Recite, and then you will be going higher, and then your station will be last where you recite. And this is, as some scholars say, that it is with the memorizers. Secondly, the one who memorizes Quran will have the chance to make shafa'ah on the judgment day. We learn the hadith. They will be they will crown their parents, because they are going to be, Allah Akbar. It's going to be an exhibition. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us like that day. But that's the day we would like to be honored. That particular difficult day. And your son is going to honor you by this vast human being, together with the assembly of angels, jinn, human beings. Your son is going to crown you, and then you are going to receive that honor from Allah Azza wa Jal. You see, that's one thing. Secondly, also, Shafa'a is going to be, they will be asked to, Shafa'a is to intercede for those in their family, whoever they want to grant the intersection, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His will grant it for them to intercede those who are in the hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to take them away from the hellfire and admit them in Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the hellfire and the Yaram. So this is why I am saying memorization is important, and the brain itself is ready to absorb. Also, you can see children who don't know any language, they memorize songs, and they can tell you on and a lot of things. Why don't we see that opportunity to teach them the word of the King?
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Thank you so much. May Allah reward you greatly. Can we have Asana Lasan unmute yourself and ask your question, inshallah? Kindly unmute yourself if you have a question. See, Amma said, when I say the premium, I think another one is coming. I love potatoes. Yeah, please, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, inshallah. Yeah, Mr. Ibrahim Abdullah, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We give thanks to Almighty for giving us the grace and blessing to witness this day. And then to our Shaykha, we say, Jazakillah khairan. My question has to do with an hadith. I learned from one of our sheikhs. Okay, it goes like this: you la'ibuhum sabaha, wadribuhum sabaha, wa sahibuhum sabaha. That's in relation to we, guiding our children. And I would like to find out from our Sheikha, how do we relate this to today's topic?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. This is the hadith that's mentioned or instructing every murabbi to order the children to pray at the age of 7. And somewhere along the line I was mentioning about the 5 and 6. The 4 and 5, I mentioned that the 7 issue should come here, although I know most of us, we know the hadith, and that is the reference I have here. The 7 at that time is solid, Rasulullah mentioned that when they are 7, you order them to pray. It doesn't mean that you don't tell them to pray when they are 5. That's why I mentioned at the age, we have to make the emphasis when you reach the 6 to 7. There should be emphasis in the prayers, because that is where we are implementing the hadith of prophets. And now this is the world of corrupt world today. So we are going to keep quiet for the child, not to order them to pray at all, only that particular age is going to be a problem for us. So that's why I mentioned later that the ordering them to pray, we should start at the 4 and 5, inshallah, and then we teach them the ablution and how to pray. We observe their prayers, although we are not very firm, But once they reach the 7, together with the hadith we have to implement, as Prophet ﷺ said, then we are emphasizing and be firm. And inshallah, by the time we reach the 10, where you have to discipline them, as the hadith goes, another narration, وَضْرَبَهُمْ بِعَشْرٍ, that you should beat them when they're 10, and that is to be firm on them, inshallah, they are already used. Why you should وَضْرَبَ them? You should beat them when they are at the age of 10. That is when you see them being playful to the prayers. They are being serious. You need to be firm with them in the way that they know that this is a serious thing. And inshallah, you see, when you start this foundation, the foundation, Tarbiyat al-Imaniyah, by the time you reach the 10, they themselves willfully will be offering the praise. And they're reminding you that, come on, we need to go to Salat al-Jama'ah. Bi-idhnihi ta'ala. Bi-idhnihi ta'ala. Barakallah fiik. I hope the question is answered.
That's fine. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Barakallah fiik.
Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. Thank you so much, Jazakillah khair. Can we have Ruhiya Bawa unmute yourself and ask your question, inshallah? You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum assalam.
You said we shouldn't, you used the ayah, Kuduhu fagullu, and that we shouldn't be so mean on them when they like, you know, sometimes when you are training a child and they just want to rather control you, you know what I mean? How are you going to do away with you not hitting them to the extent that you end up regretting? Like,
SubhanAllah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. You see, that is why I bring the issue of it's not kun fayakun or khuduh fagudu. It is stages, show them love. You see, to make child really practice what you want or what you're ordering them, it's not when you're too harsh to them. Otherwise, we will have hypocritic kids on this surface. So it is slowly, gradually teaching them and then putting and stressing on the reward and more than the punishments. You see, if the person does something good, you appreciate, you show, wow, worse, mashallah, you did this, that's excellent, you reward them. Even if you can reward them by giving them something, because it's not everybody is having the means, by verbally cherishing what they did, and then rebuking or putting down what they didn't do well, but not physically, because physically beating children also has got other consequences. And this is the world today. We don't want someone to snatch the children from us. Like people snatch kids, not physically, mentally. You see a house is broken. The house is khalas, is broken. Why? Because what you are looking into your device is not what the child is looking into their device. And you can't deny them the device. But we are going to bring the tarbiyah down to make them not have the device being important, or if the device is in their hand, and when we are even away, they will use it positively. So avoid beating them to the level of where you have to regret. SubhanAllah. You can scorn, frown, and deny them something that they love. You don't go to play today. I'm not taking this. You take the toys from them, you take something that's, or if you don't have anything, yours is just, you eat, you buy them, you give them powder and they go, then you reduce the amount of the food. I think to this, until when you get something, no, the beating has to come. Yes, we are using carrot and stick, but the beating should not be the first thing. Allah is very unfortunate sometimes. The parents beat their children and the kids don't even know what exactly they did. And it is not their fault. That stubbornness they are exhibiting is part of their behavior. It's a natural thing. You have to nurture it. I hope the question is answered. Barakallah fiik.
Mashallah, tabarakallah. Thank you so much for your response. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. I think we'll take a question from Askanda Harun, yeah. You can unmute yourself and speak, inshallah. Kindly unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. Mr. Skanda Harun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sorry, I think that the raising of my hand was by mistake.
Oh, okay.
So kindly pardon me on that.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Aliu Sise Garba, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Thank you. Wa alaikum salam. Mr. Aliu, so please, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Is it better now?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmah.
Okay, I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, please. Very clear.
Yeah, just a quick one I want to chip in with regards to the tarbiyah, especially the pre-salat stage. You know, just in education, we have the pre-learning skills or pre-reading skills. The same thing applies to salat. We don't necessarily have to wait till 7 before introducing them to salat. And that has to do even from the mate selection. And the Prophet ﷺ has clearly given us some guide on that as to who to select to be your spouse, both male or female, depending upon who is speaking here. And the conditions are the same. What is applicable to male spouse is applicable to the female spouse. The hadith is known. We see this clearly when in the story of Umar ibn Khattab, Sayyidina Umar, when a man came to complain of his stubborn child. And then the child was invited before Sayyidina Umar, and then the child asked one simple question from Sayyidina Umar, that does the children also have some rights over their parents? Umar ibn Khattab said, of course, yes. They have at least 4 rights. One, to select the best mother for their child or their children. And then 2, to teach them something of Quran. And even before that, to give them the best of names. And in all these 3, the father has failed poorly in selecting the best mother for his child. He just picked anyone to be his spouse, and then she gave birth to that child. And then 2, he gave him the worst of names, and he didn't teach him anything of the Quran. We saw also in the story of Ibrahim bin Adham, when a man was blessed with a baby boy, he came with smiles to inform Ibrahim bin Adham that this is a blessing that he has gotten from Allah, and he wanted Ibrahim bin Adham to pray for him so that in future he can also become like Ibrahim bin Adham, because at that time he was the most respected scholar in their community. And Ibrahim bin Adham asked him how old is the child. He mentioned he was some few days old, and said, you have missed the opportunity. If you really wanted your child to be like me, you have consulted me before choosing the rights, before you give them the advice as to which kind of woman you could pick so that you can give birth to a child like him. Having said that, my last point has to do with the pre-learning skills or pre-salat skills. And that is that not later than 4 years. From 4 years, the child has, his speaking ability has formed to some level. So you have to introduce the child to at least the kalimat al-tawheed. And you have to master that within 6 months. And then the next 6 months, the child also, you have to add that. Maybe you can start with kalimat al-tawheed, with just the la ilaha illallah aspect, and then you enforce it with the Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam the next 6 months. And when the child has gained mastery of that, the next thing has to what? Introduce the child into learning how to perform wudu. After that, you have to also make sure that the child knows his left from his right. If the child is able to identify his left hand from his right hand, then you can start introduce the child into salat. By the time the child hits 7, he has gathered how he knows how to perform ablution, he knows the kalimat al-tawheed, and he has some basis in salat. So that at 7, if you are to introduce the child into salat, the child will not be finding it difficult. And then also, most importantly, what we need to do is to lead by examples. We shouldn't be telling children to do this and we are doing something else, because children do what we do, not what we say. So we should be the number one role model for our children, and inshallah we are going to succeed in raising a righteous, harmonious family. Thank you very much. I didn't intend to go long. Forgive me if I have taken too much time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for for coming in. Barakallah feek.
Fiikum barakallah.
Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah, jazakallah khair for the contribution. Can we have Sister Hamida Tete unmute yourself and ask your question? Kindly unmute yourself, Sister Hamida Tete.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Please, I want to ask some question about children with temper tantrums. Sometimes when they are doing something and you want them to stop, and you stop them, then it's like they are throwing themselves all around on the floor, crying. Well, how can you help to curb that, or what's the best way to deal with children with such behaviors when they are developing? Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Yeah, this is the temper behavior I said when they reach at the age of 4 and 5, they have the hyper. This is the behavior of this hyper, and the hyper range is in different range. So, but inshallah, this is a short time, the way they do. If it is curbed, inshallah, they'll stop. The advice I would say is when they are not into that mood, you talk to them about it and tell them that whenever you discuss with them, because this is also something you discuss. So if you do, suppose I see you or I stop you from doing this and you act like this, I do to you. Okay, Mama, they will be mentioned some select things. Be serious and have a couple of punishments for them, so that they know maybe that is serious for you. Because when you do that, you get hurt, you may do this, you may do that, and I wouldn't want you to exhibit that behavior outside. This is when they are in that age of hyper, but when they are younger than that, then you can get into discussion with them, maybe until they will stop. Or if they are in the tiger age of 1 or 2 or 3, you can get into discussion. Maybe it's the level of the way you speak or their speech level and intellectual ability. But when they are in the age of 4 and 5, you can get a discussion with them. Yani Hamoudi, Ahmed, which it's also good to be having that pet names for them. So Hamoudi, that is the time you want to talk to them in that issue. Yeah, I want us to know when this you throw yourself or you do this, you start throwing bottles away, doing this. That is very bad. Good Muslims don't do that. Oh, really, Mama? Say yes, or I'm not doing it. No, that's what you do. Let them admit. Okay, now, so he will tell you, I won't do it again. So then when you do it again, what should I do to you? He has to talk, he wants to be. Can we have a couple of things as punishment for him? So you and him agree that when he does it, this is the consequences. And inshallah, I think it will solve. Inshallah. I hope the question is answered.
Mashallah, mashallah. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
and I'll add something small to it, Sister Hamida.
Yes,
And
thank
as
you.
much as possible, you should avoid power struggles with them. Avoid power struggles with them. And usually when they are in that mood, they don't listen to anything actually. So the best is that I mean, if what they are doing is not something that will destroy something or harm them, you hold on, and you exercise a lot of restraint. And when you have a one-on-one time with them, you sit down with them and you talk to them. Okay, so but then as much as possible, avoid power struggle with them. Yeah, especially when you are even in the midst of people, you have to avoid power struggle as much as possible with them. But if you would remember, one thing that Ustaza emphasized on is attachment formation. Okay, attachment formation. Ensure that you have I mean, prove to them from all angle, without any form of doubt, that you love them and you want the best for them. It's something that is natural, but you have to also put in extra effort to get that strengthened in them, so that they will know that at all times, mommy wants the best for me. At all times, daddy wants the best for me. I hope we are communicating in that regard. Thank you. So can we have Hibbat Muhammad unmute yourself and ask your question? Sister Hibbat Muhammad
has come in. So
yes, so we should be wrapping up.
I wanted
Yeah,
to shorten
the presentation.
the presentation.
Yeah,
So
Sister
we get more time for questions.
yeah, we'll be wrapping up very
So
soon,
let's
so that we
add
can.
it. Yeah, when we take it two more people.
Yes,
It's
and we
supposed
also
to
have a
share.
platform. So if you are not on the platform, you can send a message to us. Then we add you to the platform. Yeah, the group invite link of the platform is on the page. So I'll resend it. I'll copy it and resend it here, so that we can have access to it. And we heard Ustaza talking about sharing stories of the prophets and the companions and the mothers of the believers and others with our
Assalamu
children.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
Alaikum
barakatuh.
salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Inshallah, alhamdulillah. So, thank you very much, sister, for the indication. Inshallah. Okay, please, a little question I want to ask is about the frowning child. Whenever you want to correct the child will frown from morning to afternoon or from morning to evening. Even though you are trying to teach the child the right thing, he or she will do it, but with a frown face, so he or she is done with it. How are you going to deal with this kind of children? Thank you very much. I hope my question is clear.
Yes. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Because of course you expect them to be smiling and be doing no, that's not. It's not only when they are happy before we can instill in them what we want them to do. Yes. Yeah, so to me, even if they frown, so long as they're doing it, just let them do it, inshallah, because it will be impacted. Yes, we shouldn't expect the child to happily embrace it. It's not easy. You wake me up at 5:30 to pray, or 5 o'clock to pray. Yeah, it's a bit hard. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ. That's what Allah said. وَإِنَّهَا, and indeed, or certainly, with emphasis. إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِينَ, except for those who have the khashiyah. So, and then see, even when Prophet ﷺ was ordered to order his family for prayers. وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. That is SubhanAllah. Allah said that وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ, and order your family to pray. وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا, and be patient upon them. Was he not ordering them to pray? He was doing. Allah is making this one as an emphasis, because, and if grammatically in Arabic, sabara yasbiru is to be patient. It just has 3 letter words, the root Sad, Ba, and Ra, and that's, if you dissect it, this is the basic, the root letters. But Allah added, and in Arabic, the more the letters, the deeper the meaning. This is the concept in Arabic. The more the letters, the deeper the meaning. So he said, wastabir, without saying wasbir, wasbir could have given the meaning. However, say wastabir, and then the ulama tafsir say that is to have high level of patience. Or you will face reluctance, they will say this, that, and that is the bait of nubuwah, the prophetic house. So how much more you and I in the DNA this age, 21st century, where we have all kind of corrupt things. Yeah, definitely we have to increase patience. That's right. We just be patient. And then if you see the deed they didn't frown, please reward them. Don't focus on the frowning, just be observing. If they didn't frown, so mashallah, or prepare nice dish that they love. And then you give them, yes, mama, this is a surprise for you. Today when you woke up to pray, I didn't see you frowning, you were just smiling. You're like, really? And then,
MashaAllah.
inshallah, barakallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for the education. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. So I think we have some questions here, but maybe Ustaza will have to respond to them on the platform. Or Ustaza, should I read out the question for you?
Yeah, but we have to pray.
Yeah.
It's time for prayer. Can we note down the questions and maybe if we are...
Next week, inshallah.
Yeah.
Mr. Kawi, sorry for the inconvenience, okay? So inshallah, I'll have Ustaza respond to you later, maybe on the platform. Ustaza is on the platform, so inshallah she'll respond to the remaining questions there. So if you have a question and you're on the platform, you can send the question there. And please, our contact number is 0534 724008 for Con Center. We have a lot of Islamic educational materials for you and the children, and we encourage you to save this contact number on your phone and view our catalog, inshallah. When you view our catalog, you can place your orders and we will take care of you from there, inshallah. And again, you can also let us know the ages of your children. We will make age-appropriate package for the family. The goal is we want every house to have a library where children can have access to child-friendly materials that are very educative for their upbringing, inshallah. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedules to join us. Mr. Abdul Kawi will be very grateful if you can help us with the closing prayer, inshallah. Kindly unmute yourself when you're about to.
I can help you do the community prayer.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We thank the Almighty Allah for this life, and we thank Him for all the goodness that He has given to us. We pray that He should bless this program and the organizers of this program. He should increase them in wisdom and His support so that He can use them to take the deen to the next level. He should use all of us to the best as we can be used, so that we can be helpful to the deen. Subhana rabbi rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salatu wa salamu ala alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khair.